Greetings. Welcome to your Week 11 Class 2 lecture. And let me just go over what is going to be due for Week 12 and a couple of reminders. So Week 12 is a wellness week, and we will not have a face-to-face class. You will have a lecture and you will have the normal amount of assignments due, but I'm giving you that morning to sleep in. So these assignments I give you today will be due at your normal class time in Week 12. So for this week, I would like you to create 2 Sing assignments. We are going into a sort of new area in the Dominant 7 intervals that are available in melodies. So Sing 9 will be 9.18 out of that second section in Chapter 9. And then we're going to do something a little different. I'm going ahead with Chapter 10. It's just rhythm. And compared to what I put you through with the pace, I think you're going to find this rather easy. And I will talk about this in this lecture. But Sing 10 is just going to be you clapping a rhythmic example, which will be 10.18. I will want you to do that at metronome marking quarter equals 72. And as you perform that exercise, I want you to have the metronome clicking so that I can hear it on the recording, okay? It's really your choice if you want to use rhythmic syllables to count. The main thing to me is that you can execute the rhythm correctly. If it helps you to count with rhythmic syllables, cool, do it. If not, that's all right. And you may want to practice with rhythmic syllables and then not do them. But the only thing I really insist on is that I want you to have the metronome so that I can hear it in the background at quarter equals 72. You will also have an Aurelia assignment. This will be number 5. I haven't created it yet, but I'll do that tomorrow. And then we're going to do dictation 7 right now. So the first thing for dictation 7 is going to be kind of a continuation of last week, where I introduced dotted rhythms to you at the 8th note and 16th note level. This week we're going to be working on it in dictation at the 16th note level. So dotted 8th, 16th. And just to kind of set that up, if you imagine that we were in 3/8 and our 8th note pulse was okay. First subdivision would be at the 16th note level, so it would be okay. So I'm going to do, these are 8s. You can tap 16s. Sorry, this is 8s. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce a dotted 8th, 16th rhythm, which sounds like this. So again, kind of visualizing if we were in 3/8, I would probably bar these together. Here would be your dotted 8, there would be your 16th. Okay, so that's the rhythm that I want to talk about for this week. 2, 3. actually, in a compound meter, we're gonna put it in 6/8. All right? Maybe we'll just do it like that. Let's say that's the rhythm. 4, 5, 6. This rhythm has actually a special name, and it is called a Siciliana or a Sicilian rhythm. And it does kind of come to us from Sicily in Italy. It's kind of a folk origin. Usually the Siciliana is a slower tempoed song, and very often it's in minor, but not always in minor. It always has kind of a lilting feeling, and it always has these dotted notes. So it's usually going to be in a 6/8 or a 12/8, but every now and then you might run into a 9/8 Sicilian. It's been used by composers, the Sicilian rhythm, for centuries, Baroque, classical, and actually, lucky you, I'm going to play a very well-known excerpt from a piece for orchestra that Brahms wrote. He wrote this piece called Variations on a Theme of Haydn, and it's for full orchestra, but one of the variations, my favorite variation, the 7th one, is actually a viola section solo, and it's a Sicilian rhythm. And I'm just going to play it for you to enjoy because it's really beautiful. And it goes like this. Just a little arpeggio to start. But that's that Sicilian rhythm. Very pretty if you want to listen to it. Variation on a theme of Haydn by Johannes Brahms. It's for full orchestra. So your first dictation example for dictation 7 this week, we're going to call this A. We're going to put it in 6/8. And it's going to be 4 bars. So if you want to set your paper up, I think I'll stay in about the same tempo. I'll give you a second. Again, 6/8, this is just rhythmic, 4 bars. You are going to hear something before the first bar. So just a hint, wink, wink. All right? My 8th note pulse. Those are steady 8s. Okay? So, I will count off 1 bar before the first bar, just like I always do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the complete 4 bars. One time I will break it down into 2 and 2 for you, and I'm doing my best to accent down beats. So here's the first 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On pause. If you need to listen again or just write. Now I'll do the last 2 bars. So it's starting on bar 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that is your dictation example A, rhythmic. Then I mentioned in class that we were going to do a little mixed meter, and this is kind of a 2-part project, of which you'll get the second part next lecture. But this is your dictation 7, example B. And here's the information you need. You're going to set your paper up in treble clef, B flat major. It's 4 bars long, but they're kind of long bars, so I'm going to suggest that you put 2 bars on your first line and 2 bars on your second line. And here's the kicker, is that the first bar is 5-4. The second bar is 6-4. And then on your second line, third bar is 5-4. Fourth bar is 6-4. Okay? So bars 1 and 3 are in 5-4. Bars 2 and 4 are in 6-4. So that's B flat major. I'm going to give you a little gift and let you know that this example, it doesn't start on do or so. But I will give you this little hint. This is the B flat directly below middle C, and I'm going to count up to the first note, and you can do solfege. Okay, that's going to be your first note, which is a little unusual for our escapades in dictation, and that's why I'm helping you. So all right, my quarter pulse is going to be okay, and I'll count off a 5-bar. I will tell you, and you'll see this right away, there is a distinct parallel between bars 1 and 2 and bars 3 and 4. So here's your tonic. There's your so. There is your first note. Here we go. I'm counting off before the first bar. I will accent the downbeat of each bar, playing the whole excerpt through now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third bar. Okay? For some of you, that might sound familiar, especially if you're a pianist. But it's a very nice, very lovely tune. All right. I'm not even going to break this down because I think that you hear the direct parallel. I will play it again. And I will tell you when I get to the downbeat of each bar. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Okay, so that's your dictation 7, example B. Next, I would like for you to get out your books. We're going to look at chapter 9, and the second section in this chapter, we're still dealing with the dominant 7 chord as it appears in melodies. And now the new interval is a big one. It's our first minor 7th. We're in this key. So, I'm just going to point and play. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Dominant 7. So, ti, re, fa, ti, do. So that minor 7th is so, so, fa, and it wants to resolve down to mi, as a part of the tonic triad. So one more time, here's so, ti, re, fa, and here's the minor 7th, so, up to fa, almost always is going to go down to mi. Okay? Nice. So look at 9.11, and you can see that, I mean, first of all, you're going to really recognize this interval because it's our biggest interval other than an octave that you will have encountered melodically. And you know, when we see an octave, if you're on a space for the bottom note, it's going to be a line for the top note, and vice versa, okay? For 7ths, you can know that you can recognize them really quickly, because if the bottom note's on a line, then the top note is going to be on a line, or space and a space. So you can kind of find them real quickly visually. And if you look at this melody, 9.11, second line, first measure, there it is. So up to fa. They have it identified as 5 up to 4. Back when we used to use numbers, that's what it was. But right now it's so up to fa. So this melody is in A major. Okay. We can even extract this moment in time, the first measure of the second line. And you can see it's so, fa, and it goes, it's being pulled down. Minor 7ths always want to resolve down. And so it pulls right down to mi, just as I mentioned a second ago. And if you look on the third line, hey, it's almost identical. So you encounter it again. So I want you to solfege. I'll play through this little tune. Let's not take the repeat. This is tonic. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very friendly so far. Here we go. Now it's an old friend. Yeah, and you can see the next to last bar, that's just a nice 5 chord. 4 bars from the end, first bar of the third line, if we filled in the blank. Okay, so hopefully you're kind of hearing these harmonies now, and that's going to help you to sight sing better. All right, cool. The last thing I want to do is just go over a little bit of rhythm in chapter 10. If you could please look at page 158. At the top of 158, again, I think this is going to be pretty easy for you compared to what I put you through with pace. But you see they've got the quarter note is the beat unit. And we all know how to count this. 1, 2, the first subdivision, 8th notes, 1 and 2 n. Second subdivision would be 16th notes, 1 eanda, 2 eanda. And then if we look at the fourth line, they've got a rhythm of an 8th and 2/16, which we would count 1 and a, 2 and a. Fifth line, 1 e and, 2 e and. Sixth line, dotted rhythms. You're getting real familiar with those. 1 and a, 2 and a. Okay, so again, that was the beat unit of quarter note. When we look at the second example, they have the half note as the beat unit. You could count this exactly the same way, or you could count it, it's really personal preference. If this was in cut time, or it was marked 2/2, you know, you might count it differently. For example, if you were, again, in cut time, I'm looking at the half note as the beat unit. You might decide to count it as 1, 2. These are half notes, okay? First subdivision would be quarter notes, so it would be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. It's particularly helpful to think this way if you're in fast tempos. So again, I am referring to this particular example, if it was very fast. Because it's a little, well, when we get to this third line, you could count this if we were in 1, 2, we could count this 1 e and 2 e and at the 8th note level. You can also count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, it's completely personal preference. And then the third example is the 8th note as the beat center, and same thing. You could decide how you wish to articulate this with rhythmic syllables. Most likely at the 8th note level, you would be definitely in 2, 1, 2, first subdivision 1 and 2, and second subdivision 1 eanda, 2 eanda, and so on. Okay? So, let's see. I wanted to just go over, let's clap together 10.1, and let's make quarter notes the beat unit. So here we go, 10.1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2E and a 1, 2E and a 1. Easy peasy. And then I have a note here to look at 1019. Aha. So here, 1019 is in 2-2. I'm going to, personally, this time through, I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to give half notes the beat value. So when I do that, if I count and clap to 1019, I would be saying 1, 2, 1E and a 2, 1E and a 2, and 1, 2, and 2. Sorry, 1 and a 2. That was the last bar. I have to make a mistake in every video or it's just not me. Yeah, so the last bar is 1 and a 2. Now, I could count that with quarters being the beat unit, in which case I would go 1019, 1, 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3. Yeah, doesn't matter. Then I have a note here to look at 10.24. This one is in 3/8. I would definitely count this in 3 with the 8th note being the pulse. So at the 32nd level, you're going to be saying 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a, right? So if we look at the first bar, 1, 2, 3E and a 1, 2, sorry, I said look at the first bar and I went on. If we look at the third bar, that would be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and, right? If we look at the fourth bar, there's a dotted rhythm. 1, 2, 3, up, right? Because that's the level of subdivision that we're at. Okay, let's see if I can clap this and say syllables based on what I just said. So I'm going to be counting in 3. 16ths are going to get 1 and 2 and. 32nds are going to get 1E and a 2E and a. Okay, wish me luck. Do it with me, okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3E and a 1, 2, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3E and a 1E and 2E and 3E and a 1. Okay. Again, the point is just the rhythmic syllables are there to serve you, to help you to organize the way you think about the pulse. And there's unlike solfege, pretty much, there's more than one way to do it. So sing 9, 9.18, sing 10, that is that I want you to clap 10.18, and have the metronome clicking, quarter note equals 72. Okay, that's it for this week. All right, bye-bye.